Hey guys, it's Asif at thinkasif.ca, and I've got Eva and Laura from Family Mediation Group. Laura's been on the show before, and we've introduced the concept of mediation and the benefits of going through a mediator versus a lawyer, or some of the differences, that sort of thing. Today, what we want to focus on is more of the financial aspect of things. When you're sitting with a couple going through a separation or divorce, what we want to focus on now is what are some of the financial challenges that they face. So first of all, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Tell me, what are some of these challenges that they face?
Well,
Eva?
it can be really overwhelming for people starting this journey off, especially if they're not completely comfortable with their finances and they don't know what post-separation life is going to look like. So they have things to think about: support, child support, if there's spousal support. They have to think about what they're doing with their home and what they're maybe doing with their pensions and savings and all of that. So we can streamline that for them and help them individually talk about those topics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the investments that they have and the assets that they have, including a home. Now, there's beyond that. I remember you mentioned once a dog is considered property.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Yes.
and even though it's not financial, it's really part and parcel of all this as well, right?
Right.
So tell me about that, because, I mean, I perked up because I know there's a lot of people I know who are pet owners.
With puppies, I
Yeah.
know.
And you know what? Pets are, great companions, and they form over the course of a relationship, a very strong bond with the family, with the children, with, both of the parents who come through mediation. And, the sad part is, or the reality is, that in court or going through the litigation, legally, that companion is considered property. So really, I mean, there's not much that a judge can do about to order, you take the first half of the dog and then the other one takes the second half of the dog. But in mediation, you could control that and create an agreement whereby you can maintain the relationship with the dog. And so you can create arrangements where this pet, or not necessarily dog, cat, whomever, whatever that is, can, go back and forth,
With
houses,
children,
with the children, with the partners, with one of the owners, and shared. So it's a really creative way of dealing with it, that you are not permitted. You cannot actually do it in the courts or going through litigation.
Okay.
And we see that often.
Yeah, and that's what I like about mediation is we bring some humanity to the table, whereas in court, they really just look at a pet like a chair, right? And whoever bought it gets it, right?
Oh.
And that's not real life,
Okay.
So in mediation, we can talk about what you care about, what your priorities are, and what you want your life to look like in every scenario, pets, how you want to live alone, where you want to live, what income you need, all of that. And that's what I love about mediation, right?
And the income that you're talking about now, it's the spousal support pops into my mind, because spousal support, it's one of those things that we see all the time, that you can't get too creative in court.
That's right.
And if you go the legal way, not the legal way, but if you go, in a battle, you really pretty much are, forking out all this money away from you to a stranger generally, instead of, rather in mediation, we've had even now we have, quite a few mediations where they're creating amazing agreements. And
they're being so creative. And we hear that a lot. Yeah. People say to us, well, we're afraid to go to court because you're going to be paying in the end to your spouse or to your partner, but you're also paying the lawyers. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so we say, no, come to the table. It's more cost effective, and you can tailor what you need more specifically than a court will take the time to do. So, for example, we have people who consider spousal support. You can do it as a lump sum or interim monthly payments. Yeah. Right. And those have different consequences for different people. So if you get it as a monthly payment, it's income taxed as income. Okay. Right. If you get a lump sum, it's not.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's good to know. I would assume most people don't know this.
No. And we see our clients, right? I mean, we have clients who, one is, almost all the time, 90% of the time, one of the parties does not know anything about financials, is not financially sophisticated, nor did he or she had to be during their partnership, their relationship. So but now they find themselves in a in a situation where they have to think about it, right? They have to take control of that financial aspect, and they don't know how to. So, you know, in mediation, it's not just, and I often hear people saying that, oh, mediation, it's somebody sitting in the middle and say, oh, so do you want this? Oh, do you want that? How do you want to give it? How do you know? It's not. We also provide a ton of information, and we bring in tons of people who may be very helpful to that particular situation. So in terms of spousal support, we inform them. You can do a monthly payment, or you can do monthly, you can do lump sum. You can be creative. You can cut that lump sum in, you know, like half now, half later. You can be as creative as you need right now, short term and also long term, to meet your needs, right? So they cannot do that anywhere else.
So what I'm understanding is basically you have a couple sitting in front of you. One is typically more versed in finances and one is not. And your job is to help both sides through that journey. Just basically get them more up to speed, and then make sure it is it's amicable as best as possible, and make sure that you're as fair as possible to both sides.
Totally. We're neutral as mediators. So we're unbiased. We don't act for any party. We're there to collaborate and ensure that the conversation between the two parties is productive, right? And it's, you know, beneficial for both people.
Okay.
Right. That's what our role there is, and that they're supported. And Laura touched on a really important point, that we offer a multidisciplinary approach where we say, listen, here is maybe an accountant that can help. Here is maybe a financial advisor who can help, so that you're really planning the next stage as opposed to just making, you know, small decisions now. Right. We're sitting down and planning the post-separation life for two people.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So that's all the time we have for this segment. What we're going to do is break off and come back and talk about some other stuff. So thank you guys, and look for the next episode that we have coming up.
Thank you.